guys, I think it's time we address the elephant in the room.
What did you think of my act?
Not you. What the heck is Chica'S secret party? What is it? I'm being gaslit by Scott right now. I've never heard of this thing in my life. Why is it in this book? The Fnaf Ultimate Guide 2.0. What is this? Yes, guys, I've known about this for a while, and it's time to make a video on it because I have no idea. I don't know what to say about it, bro. And it's real, by the way. It's real. I had to get the book just in case, but this is real. I have it in the flesh. Five Nights at Freddy's Ultimate Guide 2.0. Chica'S secret party. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 pages on it about a mini game which looks very similar to Midnight Motorist. So first things first, we're going to read through it and then we'll talk about it later. What I think this is, and if this is just a prank by Scott, or is it deeper, or did Scott actually make this game but never released it? Could this be the original Midnight Motorist and he changed it? Whoops, guys, wrong scan! Scott Cawthon's minigame guide. Chica'S throwing a party. At this party, there are plenty of guests to feed sweet cupcakes and save very unwanted guests that crash the party. Chica'S secret party was very nearly a secret game, as it was only available online for a short time, 3 days to be precise, on scottgames.com back in 2016. Information and tips can still be found on FanWiki websites about the elusive secret party, so check them out if you want to know more. I don't remember that. Do you? The only thing I remember back in 2016, right, is the source code, and the source code had Chica'S Party World in the source code. You couldn't do anything with it. You couldn't click on it or anything. I'm pretty sure I made a video about it. People were talking about it. I remember it was during this location, maybe before release. In 2016, on Scott Game source code, it said Chica'S Party World. Now, even more evidence that this is bull crap is, you know, information can be found on the fan wiki. There's nothing about this at all. So maybe I'd believe it a little bit if Scott said, like, oh, this was on the website for 3 days, but nobody ever figured it out. Nobody ever found how to access the minigame. But, you know, the way that it says it was on for 3 days and there's a wiki about it when there's not, you know, that makes me think, like, hold on, what is this a troll? Is Scott trying to troll us here? So that's a bit of a summary, and then it actually gives you the whole game tips on how to beat the game, which is again really weird because we can't play Chica'S secret party. So it's giving us a bunch of tips on how to beat it and what to do, but where is it? We can't get on it. If you look specifically at the bottom image of Chica outside a house, it's clear as day. That is Midnight Motorist. That's Midnight Motorist, the house in Midnight Motorist. The bush is there as well, and the footprints are there, which is very interesting, by the way, the footprints. Maybe this is to show that Chica's the one who visited the house. I doubt it, though, because the feet look like rabbit feet or bare feet, but yeah. Also, the windows look like Mangle's Quest, and there's a kitchen in there and stuff, so it's very interesting. And we'll go through each area. You know, you've got the house, the dark basement, the blah, blah, blah. There's kitchen and dining area. So we're going to read through each section on how to beat this game and details in this game. And then we're going to talk about it a little bit and then talk about what the hell this is after. Chica moves through her secret party, hopping and jumping through levels, collecting all the pink cupcakes she can scoop up. Throughout the levels, there are babies demanding yummy cupcakes. Chica brings the babies the cupcakes she collected, turning the crying babies into happy babies. The more babies she appeases powers up her life force, allowing her to speed up when needed for special levels. The question is, can Chica accomplish all the levels without being caught by the mysterious shadow figures? The crying babies. The secret party levels are filled with upset babies, whom Chica must feed the cupcakes to in order to accomplish her tasks. In most of the levels, the babies are happy with just one cupcake. Chica discovers that occasionally, the babies need more than one cupcake to stop their tantrums, and sometimes she needs to be super fast to accomplish her tasks. The shadow figures. In a stealthy game twist, there are 2 shadow figures sneaking through the party as well. Chica needs to follow one of the shadow figures to discover who the person is behind the shadow. When she finds herself toe-to-toe with a shadow figure, her best bet is to run in the opposite direction and hide. beware. It's very important to not follow the wrong shadow figure, or else. 2 shadow figures. Shadow Bonnie, Shadow Freddy. It's never specifically said. I don't think it's ever said what the shadow figures are. We'll have a look later on, but yeah, Shadow Freddy, Shadow Bonnie. You follow Shadow Freddy, you don't follow Shadow Bonnie. A house. The secret party takes place in a house that is a maze of adventurous goals with 10 crafty levels to complete in order to win the game. There are 2 bedrooms and a secret room, a bathroom, a kitchen, and a dining area, a living room, a home office, a garage, a basement, and an attic. All with a unique undertaking that Chica must tackle in order to beat the levels and ultimately say goodnight to her guests. So it takes place in a house. I mean, with that image of the Midnight Motorist, very similar. It's got to be the same house as Midnight Motorist, right? The levels. The room levels are sporadically laid out throughout the 3-story house. Interestingly, Fredbear appears walking through the hallways. Chica may find it useful to see what he has to say. However, when he decides to talk to her, is somewhat of a mystery. Chica may discover interesting secret tips and tools throughout the party to help her fulfill her goals. So, Fredbear's apparently roaming through the house. We know Fredbear has a big connection with the Afton family because of the bite. The dark basement. Not only is the basement dark and creepy, but also a pipe has broken and the basement is filling up with water. There are 3 crying babies that need to be fed cupcakes and saves, each one strategically hidden within the dark basement. Once you feed a baby, the little one stops crying and floats happily onto the rising water and safely out of the basement window. However, Chica must save the babies within a 3-minute time limit. Once Chica completes this level, the doorbell to the front door rings. When Chica opens the door, a package is left on the doorstep. Inside of the package is a secret tool, a block of cheese. Most interestingly is that once Chica completes a level, Fredbear is ready to talk. He shares just how much dogs love pizza. The kitchen and dining area. 3 babies are crying and sprawled across the kitchen and dining area. There are cupcakes hidden within the kitchen cupboards. The challenge is a very sneaky dog wanted to jump and gobble up the cupcakes once Chica opens the cupboard. In order to distract the sneaky dog, Chica must grab a pizza cooking in the oven to entice the hungry hound away from the cupcakes, giving Chica enough time to feed the needy babies. The sneaky mutt eats quickly and Chica can only grab another pizza after 30 seconds. Chica may or may not need a power-up in order to feed these babies. The living room. The impatient babies were more than a little distraught and knocked over things in the living room. A circuit has blown and the lamps are flashing off and on. Each time the lights flash back into the living room, the timer flashes to 1:30 and begins a countdown. And yikes! One of the shadow figures just might catch Chica when she's not looking. Chica must find the hidden cupcakes and catch the babies in the right place when the lights flash on in order to feed them before the timer runs out, or before she gets caught off guard. So again, it's never specifically said who this shadow figure is. Master bedroom. When Chica looks out of the master bedroom window, she mysteriously sees Bonnie walking back and forth in the backyard. We see the backyard in Midnight Motorist, and that's where that footprint is in the distance. And we've always said, right, that could be like a Golden Freddy or a Spring Bonnie or something. Interesting how Bonnie is the one in the backyard. In the bedroom, there are 2 crying babies. One is on top of the bed and the other is in the closet, with cupcakes nowhere to be seen. As Chica approaches the bed, she notices some pink frosting on the floor. Moving closer to inspect, a golden fuzzy hand snaps out, nearly catching Chica by the leg. Chica hops out of the way just in time. Chica needs to figure out how to get the guarded cupcakes from under the bed without getting snatched up. Chica later returns with a tiny black hat. Once the hand reaches out, Chica offers the black hat, and in return, she is given a plate of 2 pink cupcakes. Interesting how it's a black hat. So, to me, that's Golden Freddy. FNAF 1 Golden Freddy or Withered Golden Freddy from FNAF 2. Just Golden Freddy in general, I think. Kids' bedroom. Chica moves into the kids' room filled with scattered toys and wall posters of Freddy Fazbear. There's one crying baby in the middle of the bedroom, but once again, the elusive cupcakes are missing. Chica decides to pick up the toys and move them into a toy box. Her cleanliness pays off Once all of the toys are picked up, the drawer opens with a cupcake inside for the hungry baby. The secret room. Unbeknownst to Chica, the secret room can only be unlocked after you have cleared the 2 bedroom levels. The secret room has an interesting and useful secret tool, one that can help her finish the game, an essential golden key. It's here that you'll also catch a glimpse of a box that the longtime fans will be familiar with, as well as a peek inside, which won't be spoiled here to those creative enough to find their way to it. So in the secret room is the FNAF 4 box, which is huge, by the way. It's huge. And of course it says, as well as a peek inside, won't be spoiled here. Home office. The home office is quite small with only 2 crying babies and a strange grey man sitting at the desk. The obstacle is finding the undisclosed cupcakes. Chica looks around but doesn't see them. Aha! That is until she discovers a locked mini safe. Chica must discover the 4-digit code in order to get the cupcakes. The grey man doesn't seem to want to chat, so Chica leaves to find the 4-digit code. Who is the grey man? Who is the grey man? Later on, Chica retrieves the 4-digit code and opens the safe, quickly feeding the babies. Finally, the grey man decides to speak, giving a hint about something scary under a bed. The bathroom. In the bathroom, Chica is tasked with capturing a floating cupcake in the bathtub to appease the wailing baby sitting on the floor. Chica must take all the floating duck toys in order to drain the water from the tub so she can grab the cupcake to feed the impatient baby. Surprise! There is something else that is very significant at the bottom of the tub. The garage. The dreary garage is filled with boxes, old bikes, rusty tools, and a broken down car. There are 4 crying babies and cupcakes are waiting for Chica. However, there's a problem. Scurrying rats are trying to steal the cupcakes. Chica needs the secret tool of cheese in order to distract the scurrying rats from stealing the cupcakes. With the rats distracted by the cheese, Chica can accomplish the task of collecting the cupcakes and feeding the bellowing babies. After the babies are appeased, an old static radio flickers on and starts repeating a series of numbers. Chica needs to remember these numbers for something important, the safe. The attic. Chica realizes she needs the golden key in order to enter the final level. The attic is the grand finale with 10 hidden hungry babies and 20 cupcakes in a mass of storage boxes and old trunks. 1 cupcake is not enough for each baby, and the additional challenge is that the boxes and trunks will move and shift like a moving maze. Chica has a difficult time finding where she's been or where she's going, all the while trying to beat the 3-minute clock. Watch out for those shadow figures. They pop up at the most unfortunate of times. Hopefully Chica saved a power-up or 2 for this level in order to finish under 3 minutes. The finish. Cha-cha-cha. Chica wins the game by feeding all the babies with sweet cupcakes. Her secret party is over and she's pacified all her guests and managed to elude the shadow figures, who have thankfully vanished just as stealthily as they appeared. Suddenly, music blasts through the house and confetti showers around her. All her uninvited guests, Fredbear, Grey Man, Bonnie, and Golden Freddy, move through the halls dancing. Chica decides to join the dance train throughout the house. After all, the party doesn't have to end. That's the summary of the minigame. It's just weird, isn't it? It's just weird. It's interesting who's at the house as well. Fredbear, Grey Man, Bonnie, and Golden Freddy. And of course, Chica. It's just interesting. Fredbear, Grey Man, Bonnie, and Golden Freddy. Those are so specific. It's interesting how the book doesn't say Golden Bonnie. It's just Bonnie. What are your first thoughts about this, guys? And interestingly as well, this minigame is not at the start in 2016 or whatever, you know, after FNAF World and before Sister Location. It's chapter 13. After Help Wanted 2 and before Secret of the Mimic. So just think about that as well. It's in between Help Wanted 2 and Secret of the Mimic. Not, you know, not at the start of the book when the first games came out. Why, bro? Why? The placement where it is in the book is weird to me. I have some ideas on what this could have been. I mean, number one, this could just be a complete troll by Scott, you know, trying to stir up the community and stuff and make us theorize what the hell this was and was it real, or are we being gaslit, or, you know, is this like a teaser for something else in the future? First thing is that it could just be a troll, and that's it. Number two, this could have been real, okay? Excluding the part where it's saying that, you know, it's on a wiki and stuff, or it was on scottgames.com and people found it or whatever. Excluding that, this could have been something that Scott actually made but never released. Never released it. And instead, he didn't release it and changed it into Midnight Motorist, because remember, 2016 is when Chica's Secret Party was made. Midnight Motorist wasn't until 2017, right? With Pizza Simulator. So maybe he did originally make Chica's Secret Party, but then changed it up to Midnight Motorist. Or maybe he planned to release it as a teaser or something before Secret of the Mimic, but it never happened. In Secret of the Mimic, obviously we have Chica's Party World. Chica's Party World is a big section and a lot of lore about Chica. You know, that Fiona was the original creator of Chica and Chica's Party World and stuff. So maybe this was going to be released before Secret of the Mimic, or something like that. Or this was going to be released for the Fnaf 2 movie or something, you know. The next idea is that this could have been in Secret of the Mimic or something, but they scrapped it. Or it could have been in Help Wanted 2 or whatever. Or could have been in Help Wanted 2. It could have been in a game that Scott's just scrapped it. This is my theory. I think Scott did make this a while ago, and he never released it, and he scrapped it, and he thought, you know what? I'm going to give the FNAF fans a guide on a mini game that I never released. I did make it, but I never released it because it just seems to be a lot, right? It's a lot of stuff for a troll. In my opinion, I think Chica's Secret Party is real. It's on Scott's computer, but he's never released it. For fun, let's put it in the guidebook to show that this little mini game that I made was going to happen, but I scrapped it or something like that. It would have been cool if you just flat out just said, like, hey guys, like this was like in the guide thing in here. I think it would have been better if they said this mini game was supposed to release in 2016, but Scott Cawthon scrapped it, never to be seen. But here is what it was supposed to be like, with some screenshots and stuff, and this was going to be the layout of it. I feel like that would have been better, and it wouldn't have confused everybody. But instead, they've decided to pretend that this did happen and this was released when it wasn't. So I don't understand that, especially in like a proper guidebook as well. The connections are very similar to Midnight Motorist, you know. The screenshot outside their house is of Midnight Motorist. The footprints, the same bushes there. It's literally the same, but obviously with Chica. A house with the FNAF 4 box and the 2 shadow figures. Like there's a lot of references to the, you know, FNAF 4 and the shadow figures, Shadow Freddy, Shadow Bonnie. It's never said if the Shadow Freddy or Shadow Bonnie yet, but I think it is. It's got to be Shadow Freddy and Shadow Bonnie. The Grey Man. Who is the Grey Man? Is the Grey Man Michael Afton? Is it William Afton? Is it Henry? I don't think it would be Henry because the box is there. And, you know, the connection with Fredbear and Evan Afton, and the Grey Man might be Michael, or I feel like it would be Michael. And just the specific characters at the end, like Fredbear, I'd link with Evan Afton, the Bite of 83. Grey Man could be Michael Afton, could be William. But I feel like it would more be Michael. Bonnie, it just says Bonnie. Is that Blue Bonnie or is it Spring Bonnie? We don't know. Because it's interesting how Bonnie's the one roaming outside the backyard, and that's where the rabbit footprints are in Midnight Motorist. And Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy's there too under the bed, so I don't know, bro. It's weird. It's weird, isn't it? It's weird. Oh, Chica as well. Chica. Is the lore of the characters in this minigame important, or is it just random? Only time will tell if we ever see Chica's Secret Party. Scott, if you are watching this video, I'd release it at some point. Unless, you know, you didn't release it because of lore changes or something, or you made Midnight Motorist instead, and this is just a scrap minigame. You know, I'd love to know more information about it. I'd love for you to just say and just come out and say, guys, this was I have made this mini game back in 2016, but I scrapped it. Something like that, just so we're less confused on what the heck this is. And just the placement of it in the book, like after Help Wanted 2, before Secret of the Mimic in game releases, because this is all in periodic order of game releases, like FNAF 1, 2, 3, blah, 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 4, FNAF World, this location. Why is Chica's Secret Party here at the end of the timeline of releases of games instead of before sister location? Like, it makes no sense. What do you think, everybody? Do you think that this was a scrap minigame, or do you think this is a troll to bait everybody into thinking that this happened when it didn't? Or do you think this is going to come out? Or do you think it's a teaser for something? I don't know. It's really confusing. But I personally think that Scott did make this, and maybe he scrapped it, or it's a teaser for something later on. But I do think that game was made because it's just so specific in the details on what to do, going to different rooms and stuff, and give the block of cheese with the rats or whatever. Like, it's very, very detailed for just a little troll in an ultimate guide of FNAF. Like, it's weird. It's very weird. But yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts, guys. I'm not going to finish here yet, though, guys, because I wanted to talk about this, too, because I've seen everybody talk about it. It's still very, like, what is this? And I don't really want to talk about something if it's not officially revealed yet. But I'm going to briefly talk about it today. Leon Riskin. What are you up to? If you go to Leon Riskin's Twitter, he's been very, very sus about teasing a possible new FNAF game. And we just don't know if this is a project that Leon's working on, or it's to do with FNAF, if it's FNAF related or not. But he did release this. He did release this a while back, and I didn't really talk about it because, again, I'm just like, I don't really want to make a video and talk about something I'm not 100% on yet. But have a look at this, guys. So this is something that Leon tweeted, and it's like a weird flooded area, like pipes or like just a bunch of water. Like in a cave system. And then there's a black flower. The music is very FNAF-y, I can't lie. And apparently the assets are from FNAF games. So, like, what is it? Well, apparently some of the stuff used here is assets from Security Breach and stuff. And what is it? There's like a cave system with the same mushrooms from Security Breach. So is this FNAF related? We don't know. We don't know, guys, because it hasn't been announced yet. But everybody's saying this might be FNAF related, or Leon's teasing a game project that he's working on, or an album or something. But honestly, it's too early to tell. It's not been officially revealed. But if this is FNAF related, it would be cool. Maybe it's like a water ride or something. Like a water cave ride, or like a theme park. That's all I can think of, though. Maybe Freddyland's going to happen. A Freddyland water park, or Freddyland amusement park. Who knows, guys? I have no clue. There's more stuff to that, by the way, but I'm not going to go into it yet. When more stuff comes out about it, if this is actually FNAF related, I'll make a video on it. The main focus of this video is Chica's Secret Party, and what is it? What is it? Maybe we'll see it. Maybe we'll see it in Secret of the Mimic DLC. Maybe we'll see the minigame in a future game. It's too early to tell, but I'd love to know your thoughts about it. It's just weird how it's very similar to Midnight Motorist, like the same house, the same scenes, especially the backyard with Bonnie roaming around, and it's literally the same garden from Midnight Motorist. I hope we find out in the future. I wish Scott comes out and says, like, yes, this was a minigame that I made in 2016, but I changed it to Midnight Motorist, or we see it in a future game, so we know 100%, like, yes, this is what it was. It was a teaser, or blah, blah, blah. But like I said, it's just really weird. It's really weird, but I'd love to know your thoughts and theories, what you think this minigame means. Does it mean anything? Or is it just a red herring, or... I don't know, or just we're being gaslit by Scott. I don't know, guys. I really don't. Next charity stream, when Scott joins, I'll ask about it. I'll see if I can get anything out of him. It's like, Scott, what's Chica's Secret Party, and see if he says anything in the chat. But yeah, we'll leave it there, guys. But thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, like I said, I'd love to know your thoughts and theories about what this is about. It's still really cool, by the way. I do like it. And do you have any ideas on who the characters are? Who is the Grey Man? Is it William? Is it Michael? Is it Henry? I'm sure this year we're going to get some really cool stuff for FNAF. I'm pretty positive we're going to get something from Steelwool this year, or at least a trailer or a teaser of their upcoming game. Whether that's Secret of the Mimic DLC or Fredbear's game or Security Breach 2. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I feel like we've got some good stuff coming. So yeah. Take care, lots of love, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.